Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I have some news coming out here for you in regards to the Russian-Ukraine war, but particularly we're going to be talking about Pope Francis, and he was in an interview recently, and this information just got released on Saturday, and supposedly he was discussing the Ukraine war, with Russia and all that. And during this interview, he basically told the interviewer that Ukraine should throw out the white flag and negotiate. That they should put an end to the fighting and just come to the negotiation table and engage on peace talks with Russia and throw out the courage of the white flag, is what he said. So there's been a lot of pushback here. We've had the foreign minister of Ukraine coming out and saying there's no way we're going to engage in any kind of peace talks. Vladimir Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, has reiterated that same message many different times. He is completely against negotiating with Russia or Vladimir Putin here, and they're going to keep fighting here until the bitter end. Okay, they are not willing to negotiate at all. So I thought it was very interesting that Pope Francis came out and started talking about this and was basically encouraging Ukraine to basically surrender in a way, right? So I have an article here pulled up, and we're going to take a look at this. So this is on CBS News, and it says here Pope Francis says Ukraine should have the courage of the white flag against Russia. It says here Pope Francis said in an interview that Ukraine, facing a possible defeat, should have the courage to negotiate an end to the war with Russia and not be ashamed to sit at the same table to carry out peace talks. The Pope made his appeal during an interview recorded last month with Swiss broadcaster RSI, which was partially released on Saturday. I think that the strongest one is the one who looks at the situation, thinks about the people, and has the courage of the white flag and negotiates, Francis said, adding that talks should take place with the help of international powers. Ukraine remains firm on not engaging directly with Russia on peace talks, and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said multiple times the initiative in peace negotiations must belong to the country that has been invaded. So he's talking about his country, obviously, right? And he's basically saying that they have to decide whether they do that, whether they come to a peace negotiation agreement or not. And as of now, Ukraine is not willing to do that. Okay, they've said it from the very beginning. They will fight till the bitter end here. And it says so in response to Pope Francis's comments. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba wrote Sunday on social media, "Our flag is a yellow and blue one. This is the flag which we live, die, and prevail. We shall never raise any other flags." So they are not willing to negotiate, and they're not willing to surrender at all costs. Kuleba also thanked Pope Francis for his constant prayers for peace. He said he hoped that Pope would visit Ukraine to support over 1 million Ukrainian Catholics, over 5 million Greek Catholics, all Christians, and all Ukrainians. Several other leaders in Europe also responded to the Pope's comments. How about, for balance, encouraging Putin to have the courage to withdraw his army from Ukraine? Polish Foreign Minister Radoslaw Sikorski said Sunday on social media, peace would immediately ensue without the need for negotiations. Well, I can agree with that in a way. But at the same time, Putin decided to invade Ukraine, and here we are. Okay, we're kind of stuck in the middle of this, and obviously Ukraine is not willing to back down, and Russia's not willing to back down. So neither of them are really open to negotiations. I know that we had President Putin. He came out in an interview with Tucker Carlson not too long ago, and he did say that he was open to peace negotiations here. And immediately the United States shot that down. Joe Biden was like, no, they're not going to agree to any negotiating, deals or anything like that. So it doesn't look like there's going to be any peace anytime soon. Bernhard Koch, German ambassador to the Holy See, called Russia the aggressor in the ongoing war and called on Moscow to end the war. So basically, what the West wants is they just want Russia to pull out of Ukraine, but we know that's not going to happen. Edgars Rinkevics, the president of Latvia, shared his Sunday morning take on social media. He did not reference Ukraine or Russia by name in his post. One must not capitulate. In face of evil, one must fight it and defeat it so that the evil raises the white flag and capitulates, Rinkovic said. Russia is gaining momentum on the battlefield in the war now in its third year, and Ukraine is running low on ammunition. Meanwhile, some of Ukraine's allies in the West are delicately raising the prospect of sending troops. Vatican spokesman Matteo Bruni said Saturday that France has picked up the white flag term that had been used by the interviewer. He issued a statement of clarification after the Pope's white flags comments sparked criticism that he was siding with Russia in the conflict. Throughout the war, Francis has tried to maintain the Vatican's traditional diplomatic neutrality, but that has often been accompanied by apparent sympathy with the Russian rationale for invading Ukraine, such as when he noted that NATO was barking at Russia's door with its eastward expansion. Francis said in the RSI interview that the word negotiate is a courageous word. When you see that you are defeated, that things are not going well, you have to have the courage to negotiate, he said. Negotiations are never a surrender. That's what Pope Francis said during the interview. So obviously he's very for a negotiation here and try to come to a truce and a peace agreement here. But we all know exactly what that would mean. That means that Ukraine would surrender to the Russians and essentially become absorbed back into Russia. This would become Russian territory again. It would no longer be Ukrainian territory. So Ukraine's obviously fighting for their sovereignty, and they claim that they have a democracy there, but many would probably agree or disagree one way or another whether it is a democracy. But they don't want to become part of Russia. They want to be their own entity, their own sovereign nation, and they're fighting for that freedom right now. That's exactly what the Ukrainians are doing. So very interesting with this Pope Francis coming out and making this kind of claim here that Ukraine should surrender. And I feel like it kind of gives maybe some insight to how horrible the situation is over there right now, because we obviously know that Ukraine is very low on ammunition and supplies and artillery shells and all these things. So it's really hard for them to stay in the fight right now. So are we really that close to Ukraine falling? I mean, let me know down below, comment, and let me know your thoughts. But obviously, Ukraine's in a tough spot right now, and there could come a time, we never know, that they may actually surrender. Who knows? Anything could happen here because obviously Ukraine is backpedaling here, and they're on the defensive right now. So again, let me know your thoughts down below. Share your comments, and if you got something out of this, please smash the like button. And also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, I hope to see you all in the next video. Thanks so much for tuning in. Everybody take care and God bless. See you in the next one.